This video is entitled Standard Takeoff Entry Area. The standard takeoff entry area is the part of the form that lies between the menus and the audit trail. Moving from left to right, we will describe each of the fields and their functions. The entry command field is the only field in the area that is always active. It will accept any of the following commands: a menu code. When entering a two-letter menu code, it will display the menu that you selected. A menu position, entering the number corresponding to the menu position will activate that position. Escape key. Pressing the escape key informs the program that you wish to halt the current operation. Depending on the operation that is being stopped, you may be prompted for additional information. Enter key. If you are in a detail menu and you press the enter key, the program will return you to the parent menu. The current menu that you're seeing on the screen is a detail menu. It only has 18 positions and has a little hand over here indicating return to the previous menu. If I just hit the enter key while my cursor is flashing up here, it will return me to the parent menu key. The P key. The P key will display an part assembly special lookup dialog box. I can use the menus on this item to locate items by index number, by description, by part number, by UPC number, or by catalog number. If it's an index, I can enter a plain English lookup value like EMT, and it will take me to EMT. Then I can select EMT 45 and select what I want off that list and drag it into my takeoff area. Very easy, very simple to do. Hit the escape key and it closes that item up again. The C key. The C key will open up the same dialog form but in catalog search mode, making it easy for me to enter a catalog number and locate a component that I particularly want, finding it on the list, dragging it into the takeoff area, adding it to my takeoff. Hitting the exit button gets me out of there. The F key. Pressing the F key will finish a fill mode operation if the takeoff system is in fill mode. I'm going to go back to my half-inch EMT on the list. I'm going to use the B key, which will begin fill mode. I'll select the EMT autofill menu. I'll select a component. I'll add it. Now I can hit the F as in Frank key if I wanted to use my keyboard instead of my mouse, and it will terminate my fill mode process. The A key. The A key will display the parts assembly search dialog box, special lookup again in assembly lookup mode. I can find an assembly by index or by assembly number if I happen to know it. And again, if I just used plain English lookup methods, find half-inch EMT with 1 inch with 8 number 10s, I just drag that into my takeoff, put 100 feet in, and it's added into my takeoff. I click the exit button to get me out of here. The S key. The S key will start special item module. The special item module and its functions will be the subject of its own video later on in this series. The S question mark button entry. Pressing the S and the question mark key combination will display the special item list. The user can then drag an item from the list and drop it into the entry command area. If there were special items in this list, I could just drag it into this entry command area the same way I did with the parts. The special item utility has a button on it that will allow me to show all the special items that have been created in a particular estimate. Many times we have multiple users working on a single estimate, creating their own special items. They are assigned to the users, so a user could see just his own or show all. The M key. Pressing the M key will display the menu list. I can use the tabs at the bottom of the list to select menus by the first letter of their menu code. When I find a menu that I want to use, I click it and it will display in the menu area, and I can start selecting items off the menu. The plus key. The plus key is used by power users who want to rapidly enter a number of different sizes of conduit. For example, if I had entered a half-inch EMT conduit and I had 100 feet of it and I put it into my estimate, and now I wanted to add in 3/4 inch, since I know the order in which items are organized, I click the plus key and it puts 3/4 inch in there. I put 120 feet on it. I can hit the plus key one more time and I put 130 feet in there and enter that in. So the plus key makes it very easy for me to fill in a lot of different items into the estimating system. I'm going to talk about the B key again. Many times a user will look up through his audit trail and say, I forgot to put something, into an assembly. So if I select the half-inch EMT on this list and I click the B key, I can put the takeoff system back in fill mode, and I will be filling this half-inch EMT. So anything I select from this list, for example, straps, I'm going to get 18 straps because I'm going to get a little bit more than about one strap every 8 feet. So I'm going to get 18 straps, add them to it, finish the fill mode, and when I look up here, that fill group will now have the 18 straps that I added. The Q key. If I press the Q key, it will stop standard takeoff. To go back into standard takeoff, I really didn't mean to do that, but I did it anyway. I go back into standard takeoff so I can finish describing the features of the entry area. The next item on the list is the description field. The description field has only one function, that is to display the description of the item being added to the estimate. Changing the information that's in the description field will have no value at all. Quantity field. The quantity field has only one function, and that is to receive the quantity for the selected item to be added to the estimate. It is sensitive to the digitizer that was selected in the user profile. If an external digitizer has been selected, then the field will issue a call to the appropriate digitizer interface and wait for the digitizer to return a quantity. The Enter button. The Enter button is the first button in a series of 4 buttons next to the quantity field. Its function is similar to the Enter key on a keyboard. It will respond to an Enter key or to a mouse click. When either of these functions are executed, the item will be added to the estimate. The Explode button. The Explode button is the next button in the set. The Explode button's function is to display a dialog box showing detailed information of the item in the entry area. It can also be used to explode any of the parts or assemblies that are displayed in the audit trail. Finish Fill button. The Finish Fill button will turn red when the takeoff system is placed in fill mode. In fill mode is a special takeoff condition that is started by certain assemblies when they are selected from the menu. When in fill mode, the takeoff system will react differently as items are selected. For example, size selection. If the item selected has a size, the takeoff system will automatically attempt to match it to the parent item size and automatically add it to the entry area. Automatic quantity. Some parts in the menu have been tagged with automatic quantity values, and when selected will automatically add a quantity proportional to parent assembly's quantities. Conductor detection. When a conductor is selected, the program will automatically ask for the number of conductors value and amount of makeup that will be added to the calculated quantity to the takeoff. When the Finish Fill button is clicked to indicate that the fill process has ended, it turns yellow and the cursor moves to the red field at the far right of the form. This is so that the user can enter a value representing the number of duplicate fill groups. The default value is 1, and if the user chooses not to enter a new value, he simply clicks the Finish Fill button or clicks the Enter to add the group to the estimate. I will now demonstrate a fill mode takeoff using pipe and wire since it's the best example of the process. I've already selected and added 1/2 inch EMT to the estimate. Next I will select option 1, EMT autofill. I will be on the EMT autofill menu. I will select EMT coupling set screw die cast. The program automatically adds 1/2 inch EMT set screw die cast and adds a quantity of 100. It anticipated what I was going to add. It allows me to select the quantity should I choose to do so, but if I just click the add button, it will add it to the field. If I click the little red hand button, the hand button on the right, I will return to the parent menu, or I can simply hit the enter key if I'm using the keyboard as long as it's flashing in that field, and I will return to the parent menu, or I can use my mouse and click the right mouse button to return to the parent menu. Again, I'm demonstrating the automatic count feature. If I select EMT one hole strap, the program will put 150 straps in there, and I can just add them in there. Why 150? Because I got 1,000 feet. I've got 1,000 feet of 1/2 inch EMT. I thought it was. I right click my mouse. I go get myself some wire. I select number 12. It puts 1,000 feet of number 12 THHN copper stranded. It's anticipating the quantity. When I click the enter key, it asks me for the number of conductors. I tell it I have 3 conductors and I have 15 foot of makeup. I hit OK, and it calculates the quantity and adds it into the field. I right click my mouse. Now if I select something that does not have an automatic quantity count, it will select the proper size for me and allow me to enter a quantity. For example, if I had some connectors and I put connectors in there and I say I'm going to put 10 connectors on this, it adds them to the finish. Now if I click the red Finish Fill button, it asks me for a quantity multiplier for that group of items that I have taken off. It defaults to 1 because that is the normal process, but if I had multiple quantities, I could enter that quantity and then click the yellow button to finish my fill. The next button on this list is the volume calculator. The volume calculator can be used independently or as part of completing an excavation and backfill takeoff. It gives the estimator a tool that can accurately calculate any type of volume, including removing the volume for the pipe that may be occupying the space. During the takeoff process, the price and labor display and modification area is shown at the far right side of the form. This area to the right of the button group is used to display the labor unit and material costs for the item currently in the entry area. It also contains a button that can be used to change the fields. Clicking the button displays a green button and 3 fields. Clicking the button, the green button will return you to the default condition. The first field is used to apply a labor multiplier. The value can be entered from the keyboard or changed using the up and down arrow keys. The next field will apply a material multiplier. Again, it can be entered directly or can be changed using the up and down arrow keys. The last field is used to change the labor level for the displayed item. The labor level will default to whatever was used when the estimate was set up. In this case, it was 1. If you change it by using the buttons, it is a sticky control, in that if you change it, it will stay changed until you change it back in this portion of your takeoff. This concludes the standard takeoff entry area video.